You're listening to the Astromommy Weekly Horoscope, a forecast that hopes to shine a light in the dark, helping us all see where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. Whether you're a first-time listener or a long-time subscriber, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate you being in the Astromommy community. I hope you enjoyed this week's horoscopes and card reading. If you would like to support the Astromommy newsletter, there are several ways to do so. Without further ado, here is the weekly horoscope. The new moon in Capricorn approaches, and Mars trines Jupiter. New goals get green lights. Weekly forecast for Tuesday, January 9th through Monday, January 15th, 2024. Good morning, friends. Well, here we are, 2 weeks out from the Sun and Pluto conjoining at the final degree of Capricorn and ingressing into Aquarius together on January 20th, 2024. And on the same day, Mercury leaving his post-shadow period. The next 2 weeks could feel very edgy and almost like we need to be very careful not to obsess about the wrong things or make the wrong moves. It's like our futures hang in the balance. We may also experience omens, synchronicities, dreams, and signs over these next 2 weeks as well. Yesterday, the fog was so thick in the morning that it cast shadows as it stood eerily between the dark black trunks of the trees in my backyard, like death waiting to collect a man's last breath. And this afternoon, a bird flew into our homeschool room window. There are many spiritual meanings for a bird hitting a window, but in its most basic form, it is an omen that means change is coming. The bird did not die, thankfully. So we are feeling the urge to accomplish things, plan things, and execute those plans, but this drive to achieve and be successful is coupled with the feeling like we are nearing the end of the window of time that we have to get things started on their way. Something really interesting is that from the Sun's point of view, Pluto is about to ingress into Aquarius for the first time in our lives on January 22nd, 2024. So if we were on the Sun, there would be no retrograde, remember? Because retrograde motion is an illusion from our point of view on Earth. And so when a planet ingresses into the next sign from the Sun's perspective, heliocentric perspective, it is never going back to the previous sign until it has made its full lap around the Sun. This makes this ingress very powerful, and thus the next 2 weeks may feel like a sink or swim situation. But this week we have some nice transits that are positive and are going to help us reach the other side. Okay, let's get into the astrology. All times are in Eastern Time unless mentioned otherwise. The weekly overview. This week we have 3 important transits to focus on. The first is the new moon in Capricorn on Thursday, January 11th, 2024. This means that we start the week in the balsamic moon phase, the last 45 degrees before the new moon. The balsamic moon is a time when we need to let go of anything that didn't work out from the previous lunar cycle and make room for the new seeds to be planted during the new moon. It can be liberating and refreshing, like the feeling you get after cleaning up a messy room, or it could be hard and emotional, like trying to get rid of old pictures and wading through the memories and emotions that are triggered as you do so. It just depends on where you are along your journey and what the last lunar cycle initiated for you. The second is that Mars in Capricorn will form a trine to Jupiter in Taurus on Friday, January 12th, 2024. And finally, the third is that Mercury will move back into Capricorn on Friday, January 13th, 2024. Once in Capricorn, he will only be 7 days from leaving his post-shadow period. Okay, so let's summarize these transits a bit. New moon in Capricorn, start your projects. Above is the new moon in Capricorn chart. You can see the sun and the moon together in Capricorn in the first house of the chart on the left. Mars rises, approaching his trine to Jupiter, and Venus applies to a trine to Chiron as well. The new moon itself is separating from a trine to Uranus, the sun having perfected that trine the day before, and the moon just hours before her conjunction to the sun. This is a lot of trine energy, which is said to be the nature of Jupiter, so it's positive and brings good things. This new moon may herald exciting new beginnings that may have to do with our love lives, our values, or our finances in some way, as well as our passions, drives, and ambitions. The new moon is a time to set intentions and begin new projects, and with all of this positive earth and fire energy and this new moon chart, I think we can expect some dynamic new things to take shape this month. The fire element is all about what excites you, what you are passionate about, and what you want to create, and the earth element is about what is real, tangible, and logical, that creates stability, security, and support in your life. Mars trine Jupiter, green lights. You can see in the chart above the trine between Mars and Jupiter, Mars on the left-hand side of the chart and Jupiter on the bottom right-hand side of the chart, connected by a blue line with a little triangle in the middle symbolizing the trine. Mars is the planet of war, aggression, and strife, the lesser malefic. He also symbolizes our drive, ambition, and effort that we apply toward things, as well as what we are willing to fight for, and our sexual libido. Jupiter is the planet of hope, expansion, and good fortune, the greater benefic, and also symbolizes success, prestige, honor, and the bigger picture, bringing things together in unity, as well as sperm and fertility. The trine is of the nature of Jupiter, and so it creates an easy flowing energy between the two archetypes. We can expect great things to come from this trine, like a lot of green lights along our path. The only thing that is interesting, and that may cause a little bit of friction, is that both Mars and Jupiter are in signs where the other does not do well. Mars in Capricorn is in the fall of Jupiter, and Jupiter in Taurus is in the detriment of Mars. What this means is that this trine may act a bit more like a sextile and require more work on our parts to make things happen, whereas a trine that has beneficial mutual reception would feel like things are just falling into place without any effort on our part. A trine with less than ideal mutual reception is going to require us to seize the opportunity. It's like the difference between being shot through a door and being placed in front of the door. One image punts you through the doorway to the other side. The other requires you to move yourself over the threshold. So a good question to ask yourself in the days leading up to, during, and after this transit is, what opportunities have presented themselves this week, and what do I need to do to benefit from them? This transit is giving us green lights, but we still have to get in the car and drive through them to get anywhere. Mercury ingresses into Capricorn, ambitious and practical. Mercury re-enters Capricorn for the second time. The first was back on December 1st, 12 days before he stationed retrograde on December 13th, 2023 at 8 degrees Capricorn, 29 minutes. You can see in the chart above, Mercury in the lower right of the chart at about the 5 o'clock position at 0 degrees Capricorn, 0 minutes. Mercury will leave his post-shadow period on January 20th, 2024, the same day as the Sun and Pluto meet up and both ingress into Aquarius. This is a rare and huge event in astrology. You can also see in the chart that Mercury is right next to Mars, who just made a trine to Jupiter the day before. Mercury and Mars will meet up on January 27th, 2024, the same day that Uranus will station direct and the Sun will square Jupiter. So we are building towards some very dynamic and exciting transits for the year. Okay, so what does all this astrolingo mean exactly? Mercury in Capricorn brings a practicality to our thoughts and communication styles. We may notice ourselves and others being more thorough with their words and actions, having the ability to concentrate more, and behaving more seriously. People may be more oriented towards solving problems, being crafty, smart, or logical. Capricorn is ambitious by nature and signifies a time when we may be driven to achieve our goals and seek recognition for them as well. Mars in Capricorn gives us the desire to compete and get to the top, and Mercury gives us the mental agility to strategize and plan. There are a couple of things we need to watch out for when Mercury and Mars conjoin later this month, and that is getting ourselves into trouble by being too cocky and egotistical. Mars in Capricorn thinks he can do anything, and he is very capable, don't get me wrong, but he may be arrogant, cocksure, and have an inflated ego, and this could get him into trouble. How this manifests for us humans is through accidents, injuries, and hot tempers that get away from us. So these next couple of weeks can be great if we are practical and realistic with what our current skill sets are and what we can achieve with them, but be wary of biting off more than you can chew or saying you can do more than you really can. This week is pretty positive though, since before Mercury ingresses into Capricorn, Mars forms a sextile to Saturn on Tuesday, January 9th, 2024, and then Mercury will also form a sextile to Saturn on January 18th. These sextiles to Saturn should give us the discipline to go through the green lights at a safe speed and with the necessary caution and reserve needed to be successful in our endeavors. The Tarot Spread. Let's move on to a 3-card spread for the week representing the past, present, and future. The first card representing the past is Page of Rods reversed. On this card, we see a young man embarking on a journey and hollering out a message. He wears a big sun pendant, which symbolizes his youthful, spontaneous, and pioneering energy. Behind him are mountains and a yellow sky. The Page of Rods represents the element of fire, which gives us courage, inspiration, and a desire for freedom. In the upright position, the Page of Rods represents taking the spark of inspiration and moving in new directions without fear, obstacles, or internal blocks. In the reverse position and representing our past, this card tells us that we did not have all the information we needed to take action and move forward with our new ideas before. We may have felt something new moving within, but there were internal blocks, fears, or obstacles that we needed to explore first. It could also symbolize that in the past we started a project that we were excited about, but it didn't kick off the way we'd hoped. Since the pages in the tarot represent messages and messengers, this could mean that in the past you didn't get a message or some news was delayed. Wands can also indicate work situations, so this could have been a message about a job, a project, or a school-related situation that you didn't get or it was hung up for some reason. Or if this had to do with a relationship, there could have been some gossip, unsolicited advice, or sharing of feelings that was awkward. The second card representing the present is King of Pentacles, reversed. On this card, we see a king sitting on a purple throne embellished with the head of a bull and holding a large gold pentacle in his hand. In astrology, Taurus is depicted by a bull and represents fertility, wealth, and a bountiful harvest. He is wearing a purple robe and a flourishing grapevine grows around his throne, symbolizing wealth and abundance as well. Behind him is a castle with 3 towers, again an indication of material esteem. The King of Pentacles represents someone who has mastered the material realm in the form of wealth, resources, and power due to financial stature. He is also a caretaker or fatherly type who provides for others with his generosity and sound financial advice. He is the kind of person who plans things out and then executes his plans in order to manifest his goals. In the reverse position and representing the present moment, the King of Pentacles is saying that your relationship with money needs to be evaluated. You may be dealing with large sums of money, and knowing how to manage them well is a skill to master. So, checking in on your money management skills is the first interpretation. The second interpretation of the King of Pentacles reverse is that you may be valuing money over your relationships, or valuing someone's wealth status over their character. So this card is an invitation to check in on that part of the scenario. Are you obsessing over money in some way? And the third thing we can draw from this card coming up reversed is that maybe we are being stubborn or too serious about something in the material sense, and this is permission to take a break from the norm and do something different. Putting the two cards together, this reading is clearly saying that in the past you had an idea but didn't feel you had enough information or courage to fully commit yourself to it, and now the money has run out and you can't do anything anyways, so you're sort of stuck, possibly broke, and wondering what to do next to generate the funds needed to support your ambitions. And the third card representing the future is Page of Cups. On this card, we see a young page standing in front of the ocean. A large wave crests in the background. The page wears a lavender tunic and has a green and lavender scarf flowing from a sparkling brooch on their shoulder. They hold a cup in their right hand, and surprisingly, a fish is popping its head out of the cup. In the upright position, the Page of Cups is all about new and creative opportunities, intuitive messages, and emotions that pop out of nowhere. The exciting thing is that you get to decide what to do with them. This card suggests following your intuition and going with the flow to see where it takes you. As the card represents the future, this is an opportunity for you to open your mind and heart to the impossible and let yourself dream and be guided by natural omens and synchronicities. Be like a child, curious and filled with wonder about the universe and the opportunities presented. The Page of Cups asks you to explore the emotional and intuitive sides of yourself. Since the pages are the messengers of the tarot, the Page of Cups could mean a message will come to you out of the blue, which is pleasant. It could be a message of love, since cups indicate emotions, love, and relationships, or it could be a greeting card, thank you letter, or surprising text, but it is good news that warms your heart to receive. So to recap, in the past, you had doubts and fears about an idea that you had, a project you tried to start, or a message that you thought was going to come was delayed or didn't come at all. In the present moment, you may be struggling financially or lacking some confidence surrounding the project or idea that you tried to get started. You may feel stuck and incapable at this time to do whatever it is you feel you have the skills to do. In the future, good news is coming. Love, joy, and gratitude are coming in the form of news, messages, letters, or a young person bringing you a message that is surprising and out of the blue. Your job is to be open to the impossible and surprising path that will unfold before you. Open your mind and your heart to receive the blessings that will be popping up. This last card reminds me of Mercury's upcoming trine to Jupiter on January 19th, 2024, which means good luck and prosperous news. In conclusion for the weekly forecast, I would love to hear your thoughts and reflections about the cards and the weekly report. I wish you all a wonderful week. I hope this is helpful. Until tomorrow, Astro Mommy. Thank you for reading or listening to the weekly horoscope. Quick links and resources can be found at the bottom of the newsletter. Today's cards were pulled from the Hanson Roberts Tarot deck available on Amazon. If you seek knowledge and enlightenment, the Astromummy newsletter may be right for you. Side effects of reading or listening to the Astromummy newsletter are common and include joy, jubilation, delight, happiness, gratitude, love, triumph, feeling in tune with the universe, experiencing deep insights, reflections, and contemplations, a lightened soul, a lighter step, feeling awake when others are asleep, illuminated, enlightened, having spiritual experiences, noticing repeating numbers, animals in nature, or songs on the radio that speak to you, getting vibes, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsmelliance, feeling like you know secret language, biophilia, crying tears of joy, emotional literacy, feeling lively, stable, exalted, having an auric glow, or feeling like you woke up on the right side of the bed have all been reported. If you purchase anything through the affiliate links that I provide in the newsletters, I will make a very small commission. Thanks for listening.